ran out of storage on my phone, so I had to delete some videos. Anyway, I've made hundreds and hundreds of videos in just the last several months, trying to put the right messages together for the right people, trying to put what I see and what comes to me into the right words. And it's, like I said, very difficult when you're constantly being fucked with, which tells me that I must be on to something here. And anyway, I guess to finish this up, everybody talks about uniting and coming together within all these communities and all of us that want to change the world, but a lot of people really bunch of birds just flew over, are really not acting in the right ways for that to happen, and they're actually creating more harm and more division. I truly feel that everybody has like codes and keys and different pieces of information to unlock each other. And the only way is if we stay open enough and be willing to have sincere, like genuine conversations, and while doing it, and I like to have like roundtables with like experts in many different areas that have a lot of deep knowledge in various pieces, whether it's the legal law stuff, jurisdiction stuff, the financial monetary system stuff, the ancient history stuff, the metaphysical, the quantum, the whatever it may be, building new technologies like ethical technologies, or sustainable development, or truly, and a lot of people probably don't even fully grasp this, but like there's these system thinkers that just have absolutely amazing minds, and they've decoded things on the fall of civilizations and societies and the problems within society today, and within the entire corporate structure, and like why things the way they are, and people that study human psychology, and a lot of people too that have studied bloodlines and and families and royal lines and all the little things that have happened throughout history for over thousands of years. We've all heard, going back like the Babylonian money magic system, and the debt system and the fiat, and the things that happen with our birth certificates, and the SKV Act and the SKV Trust, and our decedent estate, and all these things, and how they monetized us and our life force, and how there's people that truly understand the money system, the monetary system, how this stuff works, the currency, the energy flows like through the ether, through and how things were used to harvest us, how we projected our energies into these money and pieces of paper that then turned digital and all this stuff. But and we kind of like consented to a lot of these things, unknowingly for the most part, but it's we have to take responsibility for it, and there's always remedy through these things. And this is where like I've found a lot of people that truly have spent like some lifetimes decoding this stuff, and I've wanted to bring the right people together. Some there's things going on that are so extremely private, but I almost feel like there's aspects of the dark that are purposely keeping people stuck into believing something, or they're keeping information from the right people, or they're obviously this is happening all over the place. We know that everything's been infiltrated with disinfo and all this stuff, but this is what I'm saying. Like, even some of these people that might be being used, they truly, from my experience, even within the families and the bloodlines and some of these higher groups and people out there, like, you know, I guess you could say elite, are truly, you know, wanting the same things. You know, people, we can't be so naive to think that, um, you know, that it's all completely all evil within that, you know, or that souls didn't come in and end up in some of these family lines. I mean, or used in programs, but have they been able to like break free, or the Illuminati, or these secret societies, or, you know, special access programs, or whatever it may be, or worked for agencies and realized like how fucked up it was, and stepped away because they have a conscience, they want to do what's right, they have integrity, they have honesty. You know, we can't make assumptions about any of these people. And even if they're a gray area, or even if they may be on the dark side, I don't give a shit. Like, I will fucking deal with any of them. And it's probably why I get attacked so much, but because I want to understand them. And I've just been kind of like fearless, and I've also been like a lone warrior because of setting out to do what I've done, and connecting with all the, like, finding the fulcrum points, connecting with all these key people, having tons just come to me because I've just been immersed so much. And it's like something, you know, the divine, or, you know, universe, or something, God bringing people and things and information and pieces of the puzzle into my life, to where, I mean, I have thousands of pages of handwritten notes. I've, you know, hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos, you know, all sorts of audio recordings, things I've tried to type up. I suck at writing, but and it's really hard for me to put into words a lot of times the things that I'm really seeing, because the way I see things, it's so complex. And I think I was starting to say earlier, like, I'm like a polymath, where I have, you know, a lot of knowledge in many different pieces of the puzzle, but I'm able to see the dots connecting between them all, and see the disconnects, and see how each piece affects the whole, you know. And through doing, you know, basically like just immersing myself and just putting my heart and soul into these things for like a decade, you know, especially the last like 5-6 years, and to the extreme, the past like 3 years, like just, you know, 16 hours a day, like like, you know, no life, you know, completely like survival mode, like just doing enough to survive as far as working. And every ounce of energy and effort and time is put into finding, you know, solutions, finding the right people, decoding things, figuring things out, truly understanding what's going on, reaching out, you know, strategic connections. And I do things in a very strategic way, and I've been able to connect with absolutely amazing things and people that are just kind of like mind-blowing for most people. But the type of person I am, I'm a collaborator. Like, I like to bring people together to collaborate, co-create, you know, the cooperative type business model. Like, this is stuff I was wanting to do, you know, and I was writing about even, you know, 10 years ago, because I was expecting major, you know, funds to come in, because I held these historical assets, you know, Liberty 1000 bonds, and also I was, you know, deeply involved in the RV GCR stuff, which I never, like, the guru side of things, like, that never made sense. And the things I was involved, it was more private exchange things, and it was bringing good people together, and it was to be used for projects, and it wasn't these crazy numbers that, you know, all these gurus talk about, but it was to be used to change the world, to get these funds into the hands of people that were going to help other people, and to truly, they had it in their heart to want to change things in the world. And it's been brutal. It's been like beyond brutal. I mean, I know a lot have gone through the same thing, many. The sacrifices that have been made is just unreal, especially by certain select groups and people that I know, and it just like kills my heart inside, knowing what's going on and seeing things different than anybody else, and not being able to get anybody to see what I'm seeing, because I didn't fully attach myself to any one thing for a reason. for a specific purpose, and I just kept working, kept seeking, kept researching, kept making these strategic connections, taking the time, not listening to what somebody would tell me, taking the time to understand them, to see like what's really in their heart. And when you do this, you start seeing things differently. You start realizing that there's good people that just might be missing things that you know, or they might know things that you don't know. You know, I truly feel like a lot of the information that's been put out on the internet has been used to completely keep people confused. You know, all this stuff, you know, like all these conspiracy theory things, which I mean, you know, most of them are totally legit, but like they want you to go down these rabbit holes and get stuck and think that you know it all and not realize kind of what I've been talking about, that it's just keeping us all divided because we all think we have the truth. We, you know, we're working with the right thing, or we have the exact truth or whatever. And, you know, I feel we all have pieces of it. But if we act in that way and we don't actually come together and unite and be able to sit and truly work together, sincere, genuine conversations, then we're just gonna stay divided. And that's exactly what the fucking dark wants, because that's just gonna keep perpetuating things. This is when you study the occult, when you study the stuff, this is how this realm works. You know, like it goes so in depth, you know, when it comes to energy, when it comes to thought forms, when it comes to, you know, creating these enemy constructs, when it comes to polarizing and these charged emotions and the addictive duality thinking, and, you know, people not willing to do the inner work, you know, to understand the ego, to understand all these different things. And it's just keeping everything fucked up while they're just pushing ahead, you know, because the biggest controlling factor too, I feel right now, is still the fact that they control the money. And this is where I'm like, we got to come together. We have to come together. And I have what I feel, I have the key people. I have enough knowledge in every little thing, and I have experts in everything that have pure intentions. And we got to sit down and we got to truly set our egos aside, have these genuine conversations, have the earnestness to really find the truth, not think that we have it. We cannot act in absolutes about anything. We can't believe what anybody says. As long as we all act in pure intentions and we stay open, and we just, if somebody doesn't have pure intentions, or they have an agenda, or they're stuck on some narrative, or they're ego driven, or they're a psychopath, or they're just about power and control, they're gonna weed themselves out very quickly. It's, you know, that's become quite obvious to me. If they aren't willing to, you know, do what's right and to really unite, like they'll just weed themselves, they'll expose themselves. But, you know, a lot of the people that I've connected to, it's like I'm a visionary too, and I can envision like the butterfly effect, how certain of these like key connections, like who they know and or the influence they have or what they're able to do or whatever it may be. And, you know, when it comes to the financial arena and anything to do with these accounts or off ledger accounts or RV stuff or bond stuff or the gold or any of these things, and connecting with so many people directly involved in things, and getting all these perspectives at once and synthesizing through all this mass information, plus all the other knowledge that I have as like a polymath too, and connecting all these dots, seeking, you know, running thousands of possibilities. Everything that I do, I'm always looking for solutions and running possibilities for ways that we can all come together and make things happen. And the hardest part is getting anybody to be willing to, you know, come together and start working together, and realizing that we all have pieces of the puzzle. we got to have roundtables, we got to have masterminds, we got to like brainstorm and discuss things, and truly, you know, bring these amazing minds together, these system thinkers, these, another one, it's called like sense making. These guys that have, they're just absolutely amazing, like Daniel Schmackenberg or Jamie Wheel or Jordan Green or Jim or there's tons of them out there. Amazing, like blows my mind because they're able to put into words like the way that I think, and why it's so difficult for me to explain things to most people. They just truly don't see what I'm trying to say. And you know, I feel that's kind of like my gift, and I feel my purpose. And trust me, I've been killing myself, like brutally putting myself through the most extreme things, not having a life, barely hanging by a string. And it's tough. It's brutal, but kept pushing through to try to make this happen. And it kills me inside because I see how quickly things can change if we just are willing to do this. I've already put in so much of the work that's needed and found many of all these key people that have expertise, that have pure intentions, that aren't, you know, being controlled or stuck on an agenda or whatever it may be. They're open, so even if they have things wrong, they're willing to admit when they're wrong. They don't act in absolutes. You know, when it comes to anything, they realize that, you know, we're all kind of like creating our own little reality bubble. They realize what the control mechanisms really are through the mass media and like our mass consciousness, you know, and the thought forms, and how they understand this duality and the polarizing, and how it just destroys things and it keeps everybody divided. And obviously the dark side and all the stuff, they completely put all these major things out there, from racism to religion to you know, the class system to whatever it may be, you know, Republicans, Democrats, all these various things to keep people divided. But it goes way beyond that. It goes so far beyond that, and everything has been infiltrated. Every secret society, but there's also good people in everything too, I feel. But secret societies, a lot of these orders, a lot of these, you know, organizations, you know, everything, like even some that started out good, they've been infiltrated by this dark because they don't have a conscience. They don't give a fuck. They're able to, you know, but, you know, after a while, you're able to tell who doesn't have a conscience, who the sociopaths and psychopaths are, because they don't feel for anybody. They don't have compassion. They're not willing to forgive, or they act in like only they, you know, have the right answers or whatever it may be. And or they're just not willing to, you know, really truly do what's right, or, you know, whatever it may be. But there's also good within everything too, and anybody can make a decision. So, but we truly need to unite. And, you know, like I said, I feel the financial part's the biggest thing right now. And I know, but this has been over a decade for me of expecting things to happen on daily. But I gave up like years ago. I just kept finding more pieces, finding more key people, finding other things going on, and like bringing all these things together, getting all these perspectives, synthesizing through it all, finding the patterns, finding the disconnects to truly see things so different. And now it's time, like, and I've been trying for like 18 months to really, I mean, really longer than that, to really do this, and try to like start bringing the right ones together. And it's difficult. I do feel, like I said, the dark has some people so ingrained with major promises, or like, you know, telling them, you know, certain things, like making them feel special, but they truly believe what like what they're doing, you know, is right, or what's best, or whatever it may be, is the you know, main thing or whatever. But this is where everything's like disconnected. And I feel like it's because they seeing if certain key people came together, it was like over for them. So, you know, ultimately, you know, I know we're gonna come out ahead, but we can make this happen a lot sooner. And, you know, all of us that are of the light, we need to start fucking acting like light. You know, start acting in the right way. Unless this shit's gonna just keep fucking perpetuating. And we gotta come together. We gotta have these roundtables and masterminds. This is where the magic fucking happens. And yeah, I know you can't even see me right now, but and hopefully I don't fall trying to climb down this hill. But hopefully there's some others out there that feel the same way I do.